I was just gonna ask, do you have any idea of why it was cut, or did they just say timing, pacing?
Oh, no. I didn't know until I actually watched the movie, and when I saw it, obviously the house was that same house that I shot the scene in. It was recreated in a studio in Montreal, and I knew that's when the flashback was supposed to kick in. Instead, it was Jackie looking at Mr. Miyagi's picture and saying, "Yeah, I knew him back then." The Karate Kid 2 scene that they used in the opening, that really actually did tell the story of how Jackie Han and his ancestor was all connected to the Miyagi karate.
Right.
So that probably did it. My speculation as to why they chose to cut it was because, first of all, it didn't feel that important given that the focal point was about Daniel and Han training this new kid.
Mhm.
And I do feel that Miyagi gets a lot of attention, and yet he's not really in the movie. And I think that they wanted to maintain the focus on that. Just really quickly, just brush through yeah, this is how I know Mr. Miyagi, and this is the house, right?
Right.
I knew that he would have cut right then and there. Because they used Karate Kid 2 in the opening, having that contrast of AI version of Pat Morita's scene and de-aged Jackie, which I would have loved to have seen how they would have done his, because he had the wig on and the members only jacket.
Right.
It would have been really cool, but at the same time, I can see how it would have been a little forced and not as essential to the entire story.
Mhm.
And I also felt like there were perhaps some voices of people who worked on the original Karate Kid going, we don't need fake Pat Morita to show up out of nowhere. We already cut in, we used the Karate Kid 2 scene in the opening, and that gave great homage to Pat.
Right.
Let's keep it that way. I would have probably said the same thing had I been in the production myself. So that's my speculation as to why they chose to cut it. I know that they spent a good budget because that AI team couldn't have been cheap.
Right.
It was an amazing process. The way they did everything, their setup, and how meticulous it was in making sure that they used a lot of my natural elements so that the AI portion was minimal as possible to make it look real. And they did a great job. I looked just like him. And they were going to use his voice over mine in that scene. So having invested in all that, I'm sure they'll use it somewhere in deleted scenes or something. I hope that it does, not because of me per se, but
Right.
just to say it was still giving tribute to Mr. Miyagi. I'm hoping that they will still use it somewhere.